Let's talk about something that keeps coming up so we can tackle these false doctrines and debates floating around. Because some brothers are using the Bible to justify cheating and lust while pretending it's the same thing as biblical marriages. And I'm going to tell you right now that it's not scripture, it's not Yah, and it is not righteousness. I'll show you a snippet of a video that I recently had a discussion on IG so you have an idea of why I'm here today. I stayed quiet as long as I could, just waiting for some self-correction and revelation from our men, yet here I am. So here we go.
She goes, Lex, would you ever leave if your man cheated on you? I said, girl, no. Why? She says, well, he cheated. I said, girl, no. That's a good man. I got a good man. But like, elaborate. What you mean? What you mean by cheating? Goes, like sleep with another girl or something. Says, sis, look, just because a man goes out and quote unquote cheats or sleeps with another girl, that don't mean nothing. He just fucked.
All right, and I'll stop there. My TikTok has enough flags that the language in that video may just tip my account on over the edge if I continue, but feel free to go to Mr. 6'5's IG or the young lady in this video for the rest. But this young lady and what she chooses to do with her body and her man don't concern me at all. That's between them and Yah. But my concern with this video is it was placed on this brother's page with this scripture from Isaiah. And see, what I've noticed is quite a few of these brothers are using this scripture to justify living carnal lives, engaging in sexual immorality, and trying to excuse these behaviors with scriptures on polygyny. I mean, it's really consuming way too many of them, worrying about how many wives or concubines they can have instead of focusing on the task at hand, i.e., lost sheep and salvation. So let's break down all of this with the actual word and see what scriptures actually say. And we'll start with this misused scripture, Isaiah 4:1. Some men quote this like it's a prophecy for them to collect wives. But let's actually read it. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Isaiah 4:1 is a judgment on Israel, not a blessing. It comes after Isaiah 3, where for Israel's sin and corruption, Israel is being judged. The nation collapsed, men die at war, women now outnumber men because so many have died. And even then, they say, we will provide our own food and clothing, meaning they don't even want a real marriage. They were desperate to remove reproach, not join a man's harem. They didn't even want to be taken care of. They wanted the name. They wanted the title. Isaiah 4 has nothing to do with permitting men to fulfill their lustful desires by rounding up a bunch of wives. It's about a punishment and a need for men to step up in duty to provide the protection that wives were granted. So many men think polygyny is an excuse to fulfill their lustful desires and feel that scripture does not express punishment for men sleeping with multiple women and only mentions punishment for women. Some men, like the brother I borrowed this video from, believe that women also have no option to leave their husband if he sleeps with other women, and that a man only commits adultery if he sleeps with another man's wife. That way of thinking comes from rabbinical tradition, not actual scripture. Yah's law show that a man can violate covenant through sexual sin, even with an unmarried woman. It doesn't have to be someone's wife. For example, Exodus 22:16 through 17. If a man sleeps with an unmarried woman, he becomes obligated to her. He can't just walk away. Casual sex was never an option. He must marry her or pay the bride price. Why? Because sex forms covenant, and he has violated her honor. If sex had no consequences for a man unless she was married, then why is Yah holding him financially and covenantly responsible? This alone destroys that argument. Torah calls any sexual sin outside covenant a defilement. Leviticus 19:29, don't prostitute your daughter, meaning don't allow casual sex with her. If an unmarried girl having sex is considered prostitution, and if the man causes that sin, what is he doing? Participating in sexual sin. You can't say sex outside of marriage is sin for a woman, but not for a man. That is nowhere in Scripture. Yah does actually punish men for sexual immorality severely. For example, Samson slept with prostitutes, hooked up with Philistine women. The result, Judges 16:20, Yah left him. Solomon, many wives and concubines. The result, Yah tore the kingdom from him. You find that in 1 Kings 11. The men of Israel sleeping around with all the strange women. In Numbers 25, we see thousands of them die in a plague. Just tell me again how Yah doesn't punish men for sexual sin. And the idea that a woman can't leave but a man can is also nowhere in Torah. Torah gives two divorce authorities. A husband can give a bill of divorce in Deuteronomy 24:1. And also, if you look at Exodus 21:10 through 11, a woman can be released if her husband fails in providing food, clothing, or marital rights. Yes, a woman had the right to leave if she was neglected by her husband, if he deprived her or mistreated her. This also includes sexual neglect. Those marital rights, yeah, sexual neglect caused by him chasing other women. Yah gave women protection. It's a lot of these camps that are removing that protection the law gives while claiming to keep the law. Yahusha closes all the loopholes. If you look at Matthew 5:28, if you look with lust, you commit adultery in your heart. So if lustful looking is adultery, what do you call a man who actually goes out pursuing women? You can't twist Yahusha's word into men get a pass. No scripture supports that. Colossians 3:5, put away lust and impurity. 1 John 2:16, lust is not of the Father. Galatians 5:16, walk in the Spirit and you won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee sexual immorality. None of these scriptures say, unless you're a man, or unless you call it polygyny, or unless you find a woman who's willing. These scriptures are clear examples that lust and sexual immorality are not okay, which includes cheating and stepping outside of your covenant, creeping on your wife. Yah judges sexual immorality. The scriptures explain very clearly the expectations of marriage and sex as a covenant in marriage. Yes, Yah allowed polygyny, but he never commanded it. And there is a huge difference between allowance due to human weakness versus command as divine standard. The Bible also allowed slavery, divorce, Israel to have kings they weren't supposed to have. and just human mistakes that y'all worked around. But allowing something does not necessarily mean you approve of it. So let's break down in the next video what polygyny actually look like in scripture, because it's not what people are preaching.